In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Mizuno Neo Zen, and I'm going to be telling you whether at £130 this is a very good daily trainer or not. And welcome to FORDY Runs. My name is Chris Ford and I'm an athletics and running coach who loves to make YouTube videos about running shoes and running content in general. Now, if you're new around here, we're trying to get to 22 million subscribers and we're very, very close. So if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do so before you carry on with the rest of this video. So like I said in the open, we're going to be taking a look at these. So this is the Mizuno Neo Zen, this non-plated daily trainer that is currently retailing at £130. Now, how this video is going to work, we're going to be talking about the stats and features on this shoe. I'm going to be telling you how I've used it and how I think you should be using it. We're going to discuss where this would fit into a rotation. I'm going to tell you what its closest competitors are. I'm also going to tell you the things that I like and the things I don't like about this shoe. And then we're going to wrap it all up at the end and I'm going to tell you whether you should be parting with £130 of your own money to buy this. Got it? Let's move on. Okay team, so before we do anything, you know it's coming. We've got to get the disclaimer done so I cover my arse. And with that out of the way, let's crack on with the stats and features. So the Mizuno Neo Zen, like I said, is £130. This is a non-plated daily trainer. We've got 40mm stack down to 34 with a 6mm drop. The shoe features this supercritical TPU midsole called Energy NXT or Next. We've got a one-piece knit upper. We've got a full-length bit of rubber coverage on the outsole. The shoe weighs 262 grams. This is a UK 9.5 and it doesn't fit true to size, and I'll come onto that in just a minute. The Neo Zen also features the smooth speed assist, and that's probably about it in terms of stats and features. Okay, so let's take a closer look. So here's the one-piece knit upper on the shoe. Let me know in the comments if you're a fan of knit uppers. As you can see, there's plenty of gathering with this upper. I'll come on to that. So there's the rubber coverage on the outsole, which is very good, by the way. And if you notice, this cutaway in here is very similar to the Neo Vista, but it's actually shallower. So you don't feel like you're on rails as much as you do with the Neo Vista. So like I said, we've got this TPU supercritical foam in here, which is very soft and very springy, which is good news. So they're your laces, which are extremely long. There's an essential pull tab on the back because this is a one-piece knit upper. And that's probably about it. So what do you think about the looks, guys? Let me know in the comments. I kind of like it, actually. Okay, so in terms of usage, this is, say, the non-plated daily trainer, and that's where I've been using it. I did do a 10-mile run in it. I wanted to put some middle distance into the shoe to get a better understanding of it, but most of the other stuff has just been daily miles for me. If you're new around here, go over to my Strava, please follow me so you can see that I'm actually running in these shoes, because I'm a runner, not an influencer. And I've covered various paces in the shoe, I would say. We've done some sort of marathon goal pace, we've done some easy work and the usual bits and bobs that I do in the week. But yes, for me, this slots in as a daily trainer. Now, in terms of the foam's a funny old thing in this shoe. It's very soft, and actually almost too soft for me, but I'll come on to that. The upper has a lot of volume in it, and I would suggest to most of you, especially if you've got a narrow foot, to go down half a size. Now, the issue with the shoe being a little bit too big, for me, I feel like I've had no sort of support in the upper, which has been a real problem. And again, I'll come on to that in the likes and dislikes. But overall, the ride is nice. It's responsive to a degree. It's more so, yeah, it's just that soft feeling underfoot. And on the 10-mile run, which is where we got all that B-roll, it was nice. It was enjoyable. I was just plodding along at easy pace, and it was fine. I have noticed some instability in the heel, which is not unusual for a foam this soft for me. As somebody who does mildly pronate, I have found the heel to be mildly unstable. And again, because of the lack of support in the upper, I think that's exaggerated that feeling. The outsole has performed very well. I have to give it some kudos in terms of the full-length rubber coverage on the shoe. It really is a good outsole on this shoe. Obviously carrying that over from the Neo Vista, which I really, really like that shoe. So overall, like I said, I've been using it for daily miles. I've had no problems in terms of the paces that I put through it. Don't get me wrong, when you really lean on it, it sort of bottoms out. It's a bit too soft in some of those other paces, but you know, that easier stuff, some of that marathon goal pace has been absolutely fine. Okay, so as a rotation, this shoe would actually fit nicely into anybody's rotation, I would say, as a daily trainer, but something, but they'll probably do a little bit more of those easier miles. This would complement something like a Zoom Fly 6 from Nike, I would say. And then you'd have your race day shoe. So you'd have like the super trainer, you'd have this to do some of those easy daily miles, and then you'd have your race day shoe. I think that's probably a good rotation with this in it. In terms of competition, I think the sort of two shoes that come to mind with this are the Nova Blast 5 and the Evo SL, the Adizero Evo SL, and we'll do a video comparing them, but that's the sort of shoe that it's going up against in terms of the price point. Both of those, actually one's £135, the Nova Blast, and the other one's 130, so they're similarly priced against this. But it is worth noting just here that the foams are different. This is the softest out of all those three. I would say the Nova Blast 5 just about sits above this in terms of softness, and then you've got probably the Light Strike Pro, but there's not much to choose between them, but this is definitely the softest out of those three shoes. Right, so before we move on to the likes and dislikes, I do want to give Mizuno a bit of kudos, because if you think back, right, even 5-6 years ago, they were making shoes like this and this, and they were clunky and they were boring looking and they had nothing about them. But now, just look, and even with the Neo Vista, just look how far they're coming and where they're going to. So you've got to give them a bit of love, because they really are turning up and having a good go at this running lark. Okay, so likes and dislikes. I like this foam. I like the way it looks. I like the outsole. I like the ride to a degree, I'll come on to that. I love £130. I think the weight's good at 262 grams. And I actually like the fact that Mizuno are making good shoes. So dislikes. I don't like this upper. I'm not a fan of knit uppers in general, but this one I think is quite badly fitting. You've really got to dial in the fit. I think with knit uppers, they either work for you or they don't. But for me with this one, it's a little bit too much volume in this shoe, in this upper, which, as I said, doesn't give me any support in the upper, and then that makes me unstable in the shoe. So it's sort of, it all comes together in a bad way, actually. But I'm somebody who doesn't really like a snug fit in my shoe, so I'm sort of torn between whether to go down half a size or stick with this. I'm not really sure. But either way, for me, the upper, with the lack of structure, with this very soft foam, doesn't really work well together. Now, I said I like the foam, and I do. I like the feeling of the foam, but I don't like the instability I get in the heel. And I would say to anybody who mildly pronates, or maybe is a heavier person, I'd actually avoid this shoe because it's almost too soft. But that's it for dislikes. Oh, and the laces. So let's wrap this up. So for me personally, I prefer the Neo Vista. I think the plate in that shoe just irons out the ride. For some reason, the upper fits better for me in the Neo Vista. And despite it being £20 more, I'm happy to pay that to get the plate in there, the wave plate, just to iron out the ride. This is almost too soft for me, unfortunately. But that's not the shoe's fault. That's the way I am as a runner. And this is where it's really important. Just because I'm saying a shoe is X, Y, and Z, good, bad, whatever, or another reviewer is saying it's good, bad, or the other, or something you read is saying it's good, bad, the other, it's really important with shoes like this that have these very soft foams in them. You have to be absolutely right, absolutely sure that this foam is going to work for you. Because it's so soft, it could be an absolute nightmare in terms of the instability in it. Or you could be the other way and really get the most out of it. So it really comes down to you as a runner. So it's a bit of a warning to you. Make sure with this shoe that you're going in with your eyes open. If you get on with softer foams, you don't necessarily pronate that much. Maybe you run a little bit more towards the forefoot, you know, that sort of thing. And you haven't got an overly like skinny foot or that sort of thing. So the upper's going to work for you. You're probably going to get on with this very well. You might be a lighter person again. So again, you're light on your feet. Again, this might work for you quite well. But I think if you mildly pronate, you're a bigger person, you've got say a skinny foot or whatever, or you're between sizes a little bit, this is going to be a problem for you, this shoe. And it's a real shame because I actually really enjoy the shoe. It's good fun, and it's a nice change to some of the other shoes out there, having that slightly softer shoe. It's a nice workable shoe in that respect. But I probably need to be in something that's a little bit firmer to save my legs. So that's where I'm at with the Neo Zen. As I said, I think it's a good daily trainer. I think £130 is brilliant. I like the foam, not too fussed about the upper, but I just want you guys to be a bit careful about it because it is, as I say, a very, very soft foam. So you need to make sure that you're aware of that. Personally, my advice to you, if you're really unsure, is to get the Neo Vista because that is an absolutely cracking shoe. And again, take my hat off to Mizuno because they are making some really good shoes at the moment. But for me, I'd probably just about pick the Neo Vista over the Neo Zen. Okay team, so there we go. That's my thoughts on the Neo Zen. Let me know what you think about it. As I say, I think a lot of this especially with this shoe being so soft, will come down to you as a runner. But let me know in the comments how you found it and how you found the upper. Have you gone down half a size? All that kind of thing. I'd be super interested to know. Okay team, so don't forget to subscribe before you leave me today. Like I said, we're trying to get to 22 million subscribers. We are so close, people. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But that's it from me, team. I shall see you all later.